I want to quickly talk to you about how to accept Apple Pay at your business this year. Let's talk about that. So, here are the generalities I want you to pay attention to. When you think about Apple Pay, I want you to think about the top contactless mobile payment method in the US. And it's one way to actually increase your revenue this year anyway. So think about Apple Pay as a digital wallet available to Apple device users on their iPhones, iPads, and Apple Watches. So this is really good because you have a trifecta whereby you can actually generate revenue. Okay, iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watches. So users can actually connect their Apple Pay wallets to bank accounts, credit cards, debit cards, and even gift cards. So that's really fantastic because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you want to increase, you want to expand the realm of possibilities when it comes to generating revenue. And accepting Apple Pay is going to really help you big time. So what happens here is that when users want to buy something from a merchant that accepts Apple Pay, they actually open the Apple Pay app on their device and hold it next to the NFC area on the merchant's card reader. And payment is complete when four green lights appear and a chime sounds actually. So that's really pretty straightforward. Okay. And your business can also set up its website to accept Apple Pay as a payment form. Buyers click the Pay with Apple Pay button on the checkout page and confirm the purchase on their Apple device. And once payment is made, Apple Pay funnels the funds from the buyer's linked payment source to the merchant's account. Okay, so that's really good. Now, how can your business accept Apple Pay? Well, if you already accepting Apple Pay is a straightforward process for all businesses. So if you already accept credit cards, that's even easier. Let me explain why. Basically, you want to determine if you have the right hardware. So if you have a credit card machine and card reader, check for the NFC mobile payments image. It looks like a three bowed line indicating a wireless signal. So if your card reader has that image, you already have the proper hardware for accepting Apple Pay. So that's really good. And also, you want to buy the proper hardware if necessary. So if you don't have a card reader, or if your card reader accepts only magnetic strap cards and chip cards, you must replace it with one that supports NFC payments. So card readers that support NFC will have the word tap in their description and cost between $49 to $79. You want to find out if your credit card processor supports Apple Pay. You want to enable Apple Pay on your account for online acceptance. You want to train your staff on accepting Apple Pay, and you want to post signage about accepting Apple Pay. So that's if you accept credit cards. Now, if you do not accept credit cards yet, so this is also there's a possibility. So if your business does not already accept credit cards, or let's say your current processor does not support Apple Pay, you want to find a credit card processor that supports Apple Pay. So most top card processors enable Apple Pay for their clients. So you want to check out, you want to really see which one, like you can really check out maybe processors like HealthSim or Square or Chase Payments or Stacks. So really, you have a lot of players. Okay, so find a credit card processor that supports Apple Pay. You want to sign up for an account with your credit card processor. So after selecting a credit card processor with the pricing and features you need, set up your account. Ensure that Apple Pay is enabled. You want to order NFC enabled credit card readers. Obtain your NFC enabled credit card readers and set up and test your system. You got to test your system. You always have to test your system. And you want to train your staff once again on accepting Apple Pay. And you want to post signage about accepting Apple Pay. That way people know that you are accepting Apple Pay. Okay. Now, how does Apple Pay work for businesses? Well, to implement Apple Pay, your business must already accept credit cards. You got to have that. Otherwise, you can't really have this sort of implementation. You got to already accept credit cards. You will need a credit card processor or facilitator to accept and process customer payments for online and in-person purchases made with Apple Pay. Okay. And what happens here is that everything goes through that processor. Why? Because that processor or facilitator, for that matter, must also accept Apple Pay and enable Apple Pay on your account. So for in-person payments, you will need a card reader that accepts actually NFC payments this year. So it's important to think about the flexibility there. Now, one thing I want you to really remember here is that it's all about what your clients are actually willing to accept, right? So when a customer purchases using Apple Pay, the credit card processor or facilitator processes the transaction and deposits the money into your account, minus, of course, fees, right? So you got to really account for those fees too. So when you think about how to accept Apple Pay for your business, you have to really think about the benefits. Why should your business accept Apple Pay in the first place? Well, there are many benefits, many benefits. As this is not just for revenue purposes. Let me explain. Apple Pay is widely used. So since it uses NFC technology, Apple Pay is a contactless payment method, which many consumers prefer. In fact, in the US, proximity mobile payment users are expected to grow from $92 million people to 125 million by 2025. So that's a lot of audience. So that's the first one. Apple Pay is widely used. Number two, Apple Pay is fast. So because each payment goes through with just a tap, mobile contactless payments are the fastest way to pay, dramatically improving the customer waiting experience. So if you have a business where customers line up to pay, shortening the purchase process can mean a faster line, and customer satisfaction improves with shorter waits, and fewer customers will abandon the line without making a purchase. Also, Apple Pay is really secure. I mean, security is really big when it comes to Apple Pay. Let me explain that. So basically, Apple Pay transactions are very secure because the card data is tokenized, encrypted, and always changing. So that's really good because it makes it extremely difficult for criminals to steal card data. So when data is tokenized, the underlying data, in this case, the customer's credit card or bank account info, is replaced by a series of, let's say, randomly generated numbers. So every time someone makes a purchase with Apple Pay, the system generates a new token, and this token is then interpreted and changed back into useful information after it gets to the payment processor. So in addition to its security features, Apple Pay requires users to verify themselves with a Face ID, a fingerprint, or a mobile device passcode. So this is really good. And this measures aim to prevent unauthorized purchases made from lost or stolen Apple devices. And Apple Pay's security safeguards result in less fraud, fewer chargebacks, and more consumer confidence in your business as well as Apple Pay. So let me talk to you about the extras here. When you think about how to accept Apple Pay at your business, of course you got to really think about the budgetary aspect of the whole Apple Pay acceptance things. In other words, how much does it cost to accept Apple Pay this year? Now, there is no cost to the buyer to use Apple Pay to make purchases. That makes sense. Otherwise, a lot of folks would not be interested in using Apple Pay in the first place. Okay. So there is no cost to the buyer. However, your credit card processor or facilitator will charge your business a fee for each Apple Pay transaction, just as it would for every credit card transaction. I mean, and that's normal. I mean, they have to make money too because they are processing the transaction for you. Okay. So basically, the transaction fee is a percentage of the purchase total plus a flat per transaction amount. So credit card processors don't charge any additional fees for Apple Pay transactions. So there are no additional costs related to accepting Apple Pay beyond their standard credit card processing fees. So just be aware of that, okay? So there's no extra cost to you for accepting Apple Pay transactions. Now let me talk to you about the credit card processors and facilitators that accept Apple Pay this year. Now, many of the best credit card processors and facilitators accept Apple Pay, okay? Now here is a quick breakdown of the top processors and their associated fees. I'm going to put this on the screen so it's pretty clear to all of us. So when you think about PayPal, you have for Apple Pay in-person transaction, you have 2.7%. Now the cost of NFC enabled card reader, that's $60, so $59.99. So this is it is what it is. You and then beside PayPal, you have a Square, you have a 2.6% plus 10 cents, and the cost of an NFC enabled card reader, it's $49. And for Stripe, you are looking at 2.7% plus 5 cents. And for this is for Apple Pay in-person transaction fee, by the way. And the cost of NFC enabled card reader, $59. And for Merchant One, another credit card processor, you have 0.29% plus 1.55%, free for new customers. And for Clover, you are looking at 2.6% plus 10 cents. And here you are paying $9.95 per month. And so basically, I want to really quickly talk to you about the taxes here. How do you actually let customers know that you accept Apple Pay? Because again, I've already established that accepting Apple Pay is a big is actually it can trigger great bonanza for your business in terms of revenue, right? So how do you let customers know that you accept Apple Pay? Well, to reap the benefits of accepting Apple Pay, you must let customers know it's a payment option. Otherwise, nobody will know. Now, there are a lot of ways, a lot of popular ways and easy ways to show that you accept Apple Pay. So you want to advertise your Apple Pay acceptance online. So if you have a website enabled for Apple Pay, your developer will place a Pay with Apple Pay button on your checkout page. So that's really big because it tells customers that you are really in the game, you are serious. You can also download the Apple Pay digital mark and put it on your website and printed materials. So that's the first aspect. That's the first option. Just advertise your Apple Pay acceptance online. Next, you want to claim your business place with Apple. That's really, really big also, especially when it comes to increasing the revenue possibilities. Let me explain here. So as a business owner, you can actually go to Apple's Places on Map website and claim your business place. So once you do this, your business location will appear on Apple Maps, and that's really powerful because users are checking this Apple Maps all the time. So you can actually add an Apple Pay icon to your Apple Maps listing, and everywhere your business appears across all Apple devices. So that's really good because you are basically you are inching closer to your relationship with your users. Now, of course, you gotta constantly analyze your revenue base, your target audience, to see if your target audience uses more Apple products or Android products. Because if you have an audience that is more into Android products, then it's not really worth it for you. But if on the other hand, you have a target audience that's primarily an iOS user, you better really make sure that you set up things real fast so that you can reap the benefits for actually accepting Apple Pay. So the third way you can actually let customers know that you accept Apple Pay is to use Apple Pay signage and decals. Let me explain to you. So on its Apple Pay merchant supplies page, Apple offers resources to help retailers advertise their Apple Pay acceptance status, including decals and signage. So this is really this is pretty powerful, by the way. And so what you want to do is you want to really order those decals from Apple because they will look more professional. So you want to order the Apple Pay glass and register decals kit to display the Apple Pay logo at your business on the front window and also at each cash register. So the kit is actually free and includes 1 glass decal, 2 register decals, 6 terminal decals. So that's kind of cool because again, you are getting things from a professional point of view, pretty professional. You can also order an Apple Pay signage kit that reads "Shop Safer with Apple Pay," and this kit is also free and includes 3 posters, 7 by 11 inches, 5 countertop postcards, 4 by 6 inches, You have two window clean sheets, so you are looking at 3 by 3 inches and 4 by 4 inches. You have one employee reference card, and you also have one decal sheet. So this is kind of powerful to really think about things that way. Now, one thing I want you to remember here is that it's also a matter of communicating with your audience, right? But it's not just about that. You have to really make sure your employees also are aware of the shift you have. So if you just implement changes, you just inform customers, but you do not actually inform, notify your employees. That's not going to work. Especially if you have a large, not just a large, but if you have many employees that are actually interacting with clients, you want to let your employees know that you are now accepting Apple Pay at your business. That way, they will do the word of mouth for you, and that's really powerful, by the way. The fourth way to actually let customers know that you accept Apple Pay is to use your mobile app to mention Apple Pay. There is all this process is really powerful, by the way, because if you have a clientele that's very responsive to let's say mobile app notifications, just using your mobile app to mention Apple Pay can be a powerful way to actually coalesce folks around your brand. So if you have a mobile app for your business, you want to add an in-app message sharing that you are now accepting Apple Pay and give customers, as a matter of fact, a button to set up Apple Pay on their devices. So this is really good. Let me give you another mobile app tip. You want to update your app store product page description, screenshots, and previews to include Apple Pay. So any way you can really notify users that you are accepting Apple Pay, just do it. Okay. Let me give you other ways to let customers know you accept Apple Pay this year. You want to email customers to let them know you now accept Apple Pay, but that's really powerful if you already have, let's say, a frequent interaction with your customers. Let's say you have an email list and you send maybe your customers once a week or twice a week or once a month notifications about your business, like product discounts, product promos, or what have you. So if customers are already aware that you will be sending messages, they'll open it, because otherwise your messages will go to spam, or even worse, go to will never be delivered anyway. Okay, so you want to email customers to let them know that you now accept Apple Pay. You can also announce that you accept Apple Pay via your social media accounts. This is also another powerful way. So if you are present on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on now called X, on Pinterest, or have you, you can let people know, hey, listen, we're now accepting Apple Pay. You could also put a banner ad on your website announcing that you now accept Apple Pay. Okay, don't do pop-ups though. No, do a banner ad, because pop-ups can be really intrusive and really annoying. So don't do pop-ups. And also, by the way, pop-ups can slow down your website. So don't do pop-ups. And you can also ensure that your brick and mortar employees, I just said this before, but you have to ensure that your brick and mortar employees know that you accept Apple Pay, so they can tell customers. Okay, they are the best team to actually let customer know that, hey, listen, we now accept actually Apple Pay. So as closure into this conversation, I spoke to you about how to accept Apple Pay. I give you the generalities, the benefits, the extras, the tactics, and now the closure. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.